Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much for your patience. This is Joanna the medium, and these are going to be readings for the month of May and June. They are coming late. I had some personal stuff come up. I had a loss in my family, and I was also hit with this energetic shift that made me feel, let's just say, discombobulated. So when that happens energetically, it's an interesting thing to go through, but it renders me not as effective when it comes to connecting. So I had to honor myself, and I had to honor my guides, and I needed to stay back a little bit and just allow this to pass through. The month of April and May have been quite challenging, to say the least, for many people. It has certainly been challenging for me. My understanding is that we were going through a massive energetic shift that has brought up a whole bunch of stuff to surface. So this would have affected differently to different people, but I am sure a lot of you were affected by it. So for me, it's coming to the end, but it has certainly not been an easy time to say the least. The month of May and June readings, or the month of May and June, are interesting because they felt very transitory to me. There is a lot of change in the air, and this could be because it's an after effect of the energetic shift. Most of the signs, if not all of the signs, are going through a lot of changes, transitions, a lot of endings, but also starting new beginnings. So very interesting to see. Almost every single one that I was doing had a component of ending on some levels, and endings are not bad. Endings just means that we are done with it. Our soul is done with it and says, okay, I want to experience something new and something different, something much more something bigger, and it's time to leave some things behind. So be prepared that the month of May and June, or whatever is remaining in May, you may actually have experienced some of this in May, but because it's coming out a little bit later in May, you may have already experienced this, or you will experience this in the remainder of May and June. So just be prepared that some of the energies might still feel a little bit shifty and slightly uncomfortable, not bad necessarily, but slightly uncomfortable. But I am being told that we're almost done with this energetic shift, and it will not happen for many years to come. We'll have little shifts, but this was quite, I almost said expensive. It was quite expansive and expensive on the energies, or on my emotions at least, for sure. Of course, these are general readings, so please listen to them. If they make sense to you, great. If not, listen to your moon, rising, or your other signs, or sun sign. And of course, if you would like a private session with me, that information is down below under show more section. I would be more than happy, honored to have a session with you. I think that's all I want to say. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for all your wishes. A lot of you have written to me asking if I'm okay, and yes, I'm okay, but it was challenging, to say the least. But thank you all so much for your concern. I truly appreciate it, and I am back on a regular schedule, and that's all I want to say. So again, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in July. Without further ado, let's get started. Hello, my beautiful Aries. This is going to be a reading for the remainder of May and June 2017. I have my 5 cards face down, and let's see what we have. When I was connecting with the Aries energy, or when I was meditating on the sign of Aries, sun sign, moon sign, and rising sign, I kept seeing the number 5, which represents to me changes. 5 is also a month of May, so this can represent changes in the month of May, but there's an overall energy of change in around May and June, or the rest of May and June. Now, for some of you, we'll see what the card says about career, but I feel for some of you this is going to be change surrounding your career sector. Money, yes, but particularly I'm being shown career and or job. So for some of you, there's going to be significant changes around that part of your life. There seems to be a consistent worry for some of you around, I'm being drawn to May particularly, but so if you're watching this in May, there is a worry around job or career in the month of May. However, I'm just going to close the email. What I do feel is that this worry, or this, I'm seeing this as word dissatisfaction, and I also hear the word craziness. So the craziness and dissatisfaction around your career, for some of you it's health, but we'll get into it a little bit later, has been going on for quite some time. And for some of you, I hear as far back as Christmas of last year, and also I'm being taken to July particularly, and for some of you August of last year. So you have been dealing with something around career for quite some time. And let me just see what is the other thing that I was seeing. There is a significant level of grounding that is needing to take place for those of you under the sign of Aries, particularly those of you who are confused about your direction in life and direction, particularly in a relationship. Now, the confusion could be, I don't know if you noticed, guys, but for the last few months, whenever I start giving readings, I'm getting an itchy nose. This is new for me, and I know some of you have said that it's when you connect with spirit, you get itchy nose. So if I keep rubbing my nose, please forgive me. It's because I'm channeling messages, but it's new for me. Grounding, really, really important. I'm also hearing the word black tourmaline, or tourmaline, which is tourmaline. I hope that you understand what I'm saying. This is a stone that is used for grounding, and he's saying to me it is very effective. Now, the month of May is being highlighted here, so if you're listening in month of May, there is some significant change around work or career sector. So, but we will get down into the actual career sector in a little while. So the card that represents the major arcana that represents the month of May and June is the card of intuition. So intuition, pretty self-explanatory. It is number 2, which shows me there is, pertaining to this change, there are some decisions or choices you will be looking at. Now, when I look at this particular card, the way I feel this card at this particular time is that there are some doors that are closing and other doors need to open, and there seems to be an indecision as to what to do next. That's what I'm hearing. So it seems the month of May and June seems to be a month of decision, and the most effective way you can approach this, for those of you that will make sense, and if you're listening to this at the in mid-May, which is when these will be posted, it may not make sense to you until end of June, because a lot of these readings don't make sense until later, and you guys always email me saying, wow, it makes sense towards the end of the month. And again, I'm hearing career changes. Now, I also see thumbs up, or this movement. So this signifies to me that there is, for some of you, not all of you, there is a movement up in a career, and those decisions will be around that. Having said that, what I'm also hearing is that there is some residue around confidence. So there is some unresolved feelings or unresolved emotions around lack of confidence or lack of feeling confident in a particular area of one's life. So for those of you who are or will be looking at changes around your work or career environment, you will be triggered, or your confidence will be triggered, because whatever is going to be presented to you will trigger those insecurities in you. And that is not a bad thing. And the reason why it's not a bad thing is because he's saying to me, you are in a process of expansion. So you have to see yourself outside of the current box that you have put yourself in. So if you are going to go through a time in May and June where a new position will be presented to you, or new opportunity around career or job will be presented to you, and this particular potential position or what's the word I'm looking for? Opportunity will have a slight elevation pertaining to the way you are going to do things. So it will require you to man up. This is the word I hear. Obviously, if you're a female, it's only a figure of speech. But the particular position will require you to stand taller and also stand up for yourself. And I feel that that's going to cause a bit of trouble around your confidence levels. Now, the card that represents the chakra that will be most affected in the month of May and June, we have the card called the third eye. So when you look at this card and this card, intuition, third eye, they're both, it's a psychic center. They're both psychic centers, very connected. So what the message here is use your intuition with regards to making your decision in the right direction. Because what they're saying here is that intuitively you will have one feeling, but your head is going to be doing things that has always done, which is tell you things that you shouldn't believe in yourself, or that you're not good enough, or whatever it may be. And what they're saying here is try your best to put your fears aside, for this is an opportunity that you have been waiting for quite some time. And this is obviously not for all of you, but this is, excuse me, my God, for some of you. Jesus. Sorry. Yes, that's what I'm going to say. Now, what he's also saying to me is practicing your intuition is what is going to make this better for you. So how can they practice? He says, use your mind and intuition at the same time and notice which one pulls you more, which one feels more connected to you. So if you're making decisions in your mind only, and then you connect to your intuition, notice which one feels more connected. That's the best way that I can say. Also, the message is see yourself succeed rather than having the automatic tapes playing in your background like they always have. Yeah, I'm seeing the number 5. So it is change. There's definitely a change. It is a positive change for most of you. It may not feel like a positive change at the very beginning, because what I'm hearing is that there is a door that's going to shut behind you. And this could signify that you will temporarily feel a little bit taken back or taken off your game, or off unexpected. Maybe there's a level of something happening that's unexpected, but it is going to be short-lived because there is something better after this. So please keep that in mind, okay? And I'm hearing you've been working towards this, or you've been waiting for this for quite some time. So that's the overall energy. Now, the card that represents relationships, we have the card called the Emperor. So this is the card number 4. And the moment this is the very first time I'm reading with these cards, and to be honest with you, I don't know how to read properly tarot cards, so I'm just going to go with my feel and what I get. When I see this card, obviously it's a very powerful card. It's number 4, which is all about stability. Having said that, I do feel, I do hear the words, the statement, stand your ground. Stand your ground, assert your position. And I feel for some of you, you are being pushed. So if you are with a partner, if you are currently with a partner, short-term, long-term, whatever, if you are currently in partnership, there may be a tendency that your partner not necessarily pushes you around. Yes, that could be for some of you, but kind of directs you in how to proceed with life. And some of those things may not be of benefit to you, but you may not have the confidence to say otherwise, which is interesting because your confidence is going to be highlighted in the month of May and June. So if work is going to come up as a challenge for some of you, and your confidence is going to be highlighted, it's also going to spill in other areas of your life. And the next big area is relationships. So for some of you, it says stand your ground. Now, for some of you, I'm seeing the number 9, which signifies endings to me. For some of you, there is an end of a road for you with regards to a relationship. And I'm actually seeing this, I'm done. So whether it is going to be a feeling that you get in the month of May and June, and it has to do with power. So, or whether it's going to be this realization that happens, or whether you actually are going to call it quits in the month of May and June. Obviously, this is not going to apply to all of you. Whatever the relationship is lacking is, I don't know if lacking is the right word. Whatever the relationship is poking you, it's in around the area of your power. And again, the word confidence. So it's kind of interesting that confidence is coming up in both sectors of career and relationship, which is both huge part of our lives. For those of you who are single, I see there is a path opening in front of you, and I'm being asked to say the words walk forward. And it's like there's this force kind of pushing you to move forward. So some of you have been reluctant to date. You have been reluctant to be in a relationship. You have been reluctant to go out there and make yourself available. And incidentally, I hear the word dad. So somehow, I don't want to kind of get into it, but there's a connection with dad here for whatever reason. So if you've had difficulties in relationships and you were done for a while, for some of you it connects to the word father, and that would be another 20 minutes, which we don't have. So I'm just going to leave that there, just kind of linger and see if it connects with you. He's saying to me, for those of you who are single, there are opportunities out there for them, but they need to make the effort to make themselves available. Hiding will not produce the desired results. So there's definitely, for those of you who have been reluctant, summer is going to be a good time to make yourself visible. Now, this is May and June reading. June 21st is the beginning of summer, so that's actually really relevant. But there's definitely a little force kind of behind you energy-wise, saying, okay, enough hiding, enough sulking, enough playing, the poor me game. Now it's time for you to step out and make yourself available and visible. So that is for those of you who aren't single. And I think, let me just see if there's anything else here. For some of you, he's actually saying, enough of this nonsense. Stop this. And I'm going, what are you referring to? And he's talking to those of you who have been really connected to wanting to feel bad for yourself. Okay? And if this is coming across a little harsh, it does not mean to be that way. I don't mean to say it that way, or it's not meant to be that way. But it's, once in a while, it's perfectly okay to feel bad for ourselves and to feel almost, we want to stay there. And that's fine. Sometimes we need to do that. But he says enough is enough. So if you have been spending some time feeling sorry for yourself because the world has made things bad for you, what he's saying is enough. Okay, so I'm hoping that's going to make some of you go, okay, well, maybe I should just stop doing that. Yes. Okay, so that, and it has to do with power. You are not feeling very powerful, and the confidence issue is really significant here in this entire reading so far. So that's about relationships. Also, for some of you, I hear the message you are not alone. And I want to see why. For some of you, okay, there is a father figure, and I'm being asked to say you are not alone. For those of you who this applies, and you do have a father figure in spirit, which could be father or grandfather, but I'm being more connected to dad, there's a sense of isolation here. So this could be both married or coupled and singles. So this is going to cover all people. But if you do have a father in spirit, and you have a tendency to feel alone, whether you are alone or with someone, there's a father figure coming forward, saying you're not alone. And one of the symbols that I'm being given, he's giving me a cross to give to you. The cross is somehow significant, so maybe you're Catholic or whatever, maybe that meant something special. But there's also a chain on this cross. So if you wear a chain on your neck with a cross, and I do see it as silver first, it could be gold, but I'm seeing it as silver. Maybe that somehow is a connection to your dad. Okay, now I'm going to move on to money and career. So let's see what we have. Oh, beautiful. So we have Queen of Coins. Now again, please keep in mind, I don't read cards, tarot cards. I actually don't know how. It's like it can't get to my head. I'm not supposed to read cards the traditional way. Notice the card is all green. Now, when I connect to this particular card, I hear the word abundance. She's very abundant. Now it's all in green. She's holding flowers. She is looking at in a certain direction. And I'm going to ask what this is trying to show me here. Keep in mind, if you have a specific meaning for Queen of Coins, go with it. That is not how I read cards. I hear the word be patient. For some of you, something is coming regarding monetary component, abundance. And I also hear the best is yet to come. So again, this is connecting a lot with the very first card which was the overall energy. And it is about something is better, something is out there better for you than what you have right now. But I do hear the words be patient. I also hear the words look around you and see how far you have come. So there seems to be a need for recognition in your own value and in your own worth. So your value system. There's no need to look at others to decide what it is that you want. And then that, to me, that meant comparing. So for those of you who have a tendency to compare yourself with others with regards to possessions, or because this is about money and finances. If you compare yourself to others, as in they have this and I don't have that, they drive this and I don't drive that, that is not a good way for you to gauge your worth. It's actually a terrible way to gauge your worth. Okay, because the more you compare yourself, the more you will have a tendency to feel bad about it. Now, if you compare yourself and it shows you just how wonderful life has been, fantastic. But for many of us, and I would say majority of people, would have a tendency to compare and to feel less than, or feel less than the person they're comparing themselves to. Now, why is this being brought up? Because self-worth and the ability to make money is connected. If you are looking to attract abundance and your level of self-worth is very low, you will have challenges with attracting your abundance. And I've said this before. feeling low about yourself, or feeling like you have, if not having a high worth cannot help you attract worth, because that's a contradicting energy. So abundance is worth, money is worth. If you have low worth, you cannot attract something that is 180% opposite of what you believe. So you will always struggle. And that's why they said at the beginning, for those of you who are going to go through a career change, it's going to poke you in some uncomfortable places, because I feel there's going to be an opportunity for some of you to hit it big. And that's what he's saying to me. And this is financially. So this is a career move. This is definitely a step up for some of you. For some of you, it's a complete career change, or a change in direction within your career. I also seen cars. For some of you, maybe you're working in the car industry. For some of you, you will be acquiring a car, because I'm seeing a car, it's red, so to me it signifies luxury. For those of you who are unemployed, because I want to cover all aspects, let me see what he says here. Now, it's really hard for those of you who are unemployed, because, you know, one message cannot possibly cover all people. But for those of you who are not employed currently, I hear the word summer, and I'm seeing the month of July. So perhaps for those of you who are not working and you have been looking for a job, it feels like something is going to transpire between now and the month of July. But I am being pushed more towards July, so I'm not going to lie. And if that has been a long time waiting already, something is coming. And, you know, for some of you, it may be sooner, but I do feel there is a bit, he showed me two. So you're watching this at the middle of May, middle of June, middle of July, right there. 2 months. So within the next 2 months, couple of months, 6 to 8 weeks, for some of you, there's going to be a place, an opportunity to celebrate around work. Okay, so the celebration can happen to those who are working and looking for a career change. Something will happen that you will have a change, or those of you who are not working and will be acquiring work. Okay. For some of you who are also not working or working, the message is, do not be afraid to ask for help. So if you are struggling, particularly those of you who have financial troubles, if you are struggling, there is absolutely nothing wrong with asking for help. And he's saying here, asking for help does not make you a beggar. And not that there is anything wrong with a beggar, because that's the choice that's what the path they chose to experience at this particular time. But if you are in a position where you're having difficulties financially, and you are not going to ask because you don't want to appear like a beggar, because you feel you're going to be judged, what he's saying here is, do not let that stop you from getting the help that you need. That's really, really important. Okay. And then I see the number 6, so that's the month of June. 6 also signifies harmony, but there's something with the number 6 or June. So for some of you, maybe you will be getting financial help, financial aid in the month of June. The next card is the card about health. And we have the card called Priestess, but it's in reverse. I'm going to show it to you upright. So Priestess is all about growth. It's all about expansion. It's all about, growth and expansion. It is shown to me in reverse. Because this is to do with health, I am going to ask what the message is. So the message I hear is, before you can do more, you need to really start taking better care of yourself. Now, all of a sudden I'm being taken to somebody's head, or he's pointing me at somebody's head, and he says, too much here. You're thinking too much. So for those of you who have a lot on your shoulders or in your head, he's taking me down to here, and he says the word anxiety. So before you can do more, you will have to take care of your anxiety or the symptoms of anxiety and what is causing that particular symptom. And then he says, too much. Some of you have too much on your plate and you are starting to buckle down under the pressure or under the weight of the pressure. This can externalize for some of you as extreme migraines. I don't get migraines, but I have a friend who has migraines and it can be debilitating. So if you have migraines, what he's saying here is you need to take some of the pressure off. And some of it has to do with work. Okay, some of it is with family, some of it is for some of you, it's all of the combined. Some of you need to look after your kidneys, and I'm asking why, and what I'm hearing is needs flushing. So if you have some pain in your back, maybe just double check if there is something with kidneys that you need to look into. Some of you, it could be as simple as flushing out the toxins and you need to drink water, or you have a lot of toxins in your body and you're not drinking enough water. So that needs to happen. He's taking me to migraines again. So some of you definitely deal with headaches or migraines. For many of you, May and June is about your need to relax. You need to relax your mental body. And that could be applied to anybody, not just the sign of Aries. But for those of you who understand this, you'll get this right away. There has been a lot of stress at work for some of you. And it's starting to manifest itself in your physical body. And I'm hearing some of you are starting to get breakouts, okay? And I'm seeing it on the face, but it could be anywhere. Some of you are getting itchy. It's itchy. And of course, always, always, always check this out. But what I'm feeling is that the itchiness is your body's way of responding to stress, okay? Stress and anxiety, prolonged stress. I mean, emotions are energy, and when there is too much energy that goes undigested, the body eventually takes a toll and it has to come out somehow. For some of you, you're being urged to look after yourself, and it has to do with ulcers. So if you've had ulcers before, or ulcerative colitis, he says, you really need to start paying attention to the way you eat and the way you think. So emotions apparently have a lot to do with your flare-ups, which makes perfect sense. This is the third time he's asking me, talking about migraines. So for those of you who are ignoring your headaches or are getting migraines more so than usual, you need to start taking better care of yourself. This is really, really important. For some of you, he's showing me water, and he's also showing me magnesium. So please research magnesium with respect to headaches or migraines. Always, always research, okay? And this is a little interesting anecdote for some of you, probably maybe just one. I was shown a head of garlic, and then it was crossed off. So some of you might be allergic to garlic, which I guess we could develop allergies to anything. It could be allergy or it could be sensitivity, but clearly it was shown to me as a no. So for some of you, if you're wondering, why am I feeling a certain way, or why am I breaking out or getting hives, notice if you eat a lot of garlic and see if you can eliminate it, and notice if you see a difference, okay? Some of you are dealing with eczema, and it is flaring up. And for those of you whose eczema is flaring up, he's saying to me, it has to do with your mental condition. So if you are under a lot of stress and your eczema is starting to do this, it's a indicator of your body being under too much mental stress, and you need to take care of it accordingly. Okay? And I think that's all I have for you. May and June seems to be a month of changes for you guys, and those are not those are positive changes for the most part. They may feel a little bit rocky when those changes are happening, but a lot of these changes that I see, they're actually positive changes that will allow you to, that will take you to a better road or a smoother road ahead. Okay. And then I'm seeing the number 7. Now, 7 in this case, it's July too, but 7 indicates to me that you are in a process of mastering a certain emotion. And I'm saying, what is this mastering? What are they doing? So for a lot of you, it's going to be regarding confidence. Okay. So that's very interesting. I hope this makes sense. Of course, this is a general reading, so it won't make sense to all of you. But if you want to listen to your other signs, it may form a complete picture. If you would like to comment below, I read all of your comments, every single one, even though I may not respond to every single one of them because sometimes it's impossible. And of course, if you would like a private session, by all means, you can connect with me. That information is down below. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, sharing, liking, and subscribing. This is for you, and I do this because of how you respond. So I thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in July. Take care. Bye.